Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 5 of the Extra Time FC podcast. And as you guys can see, we are joined with a wonderful guest, another fellow PSG faithful. Dylan, how are you doing?
I'm very good. It's an honor to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So I think today we don't really have an explicit plan of what we want to cover, but I think we're going to have to cover, the Monaco game that happened yesterday, the second leg that's coming in a week, and then maybe get on into, the Mets game over the weekend, but also talking about other things. For example, the Madrid Benfica game, the incident that happened there. Also talking about, obviously, as arrogant PSG fans, we're going to be talking about, projecting beyond, because realistically speaking, even though Monaco, that first leg wasn't the best. Realistically, we're making it through. So talking about who we want, Barca or Chelsea, we'll get on to that. But I think the first place to start, we have to go and start off by yesterday's game. What do you guys think overall, based on yesterday's game? What are your feelings and thoughts about it?
Defensively shocking. I thought Hakimi was good, but the rest of the side, I thought Mendes. That's two back-to-back poor games. Pacho, honestly, I'd put most of the blame for the second goal on him. Honestly, I think he presses up too high. The ball gets played through. Marquinhos partially gets caught out, and then we concede. I think the back two, specifically Marquinhos and Pacho, they were poor, and I think the reason for the two goals. That defensively was the problems. Attacking, I don't think we had much issues. So attacking, we were good. Defensively, we were shocking. That's how I view it.
Agree. Dylan, what about you?
Pretty much what Owen said. Watching a game, very shocked by the first 20 minutes, scared the life out of me. Pacho definitely got caught out for the second goal, for sure. Defensive wise, I don't want to say it as an insult, but it looked like we were Barcelona. If you watch Barcelona, if you watch Barcelona defend, right? They got caught out like this. One through ball, that's it. So when I saw the second goal go in, I was like, we're literally watching FC Barcelona. This is literally Barcelona. So I was like, wow, I can't even judge Barcelona at this point, right?
Exactly, bro. We're going band for band. We're saying, we saw Barca against
We said, hold my beer.
Let's go. We're going back. Oh,
and the fact that we did what Barca did last season, we get scored on, then we outscore the team, so it makes it look like it was a good result when in reality, like I said, I'd take the win, but the way we won, I wasn't happy.
No.
Absolutely. I think that first, because I think, how they say there's oftentimes like it's a game of two halves, right? The first half, second half. This was a half of two halves. That first, 20, 25 minutes, I'm not even being hyperbolic. That was worse than Chelsea. That was flipping, because at least Chelsea, I remember in that Chelsea game, Dewey had that one chance where he messed up. We weren't doing anything. And how are we flipping conceding in the first minute of the game? ¿Qué fue? How are we conceding 1 minute in? Disgusting. I'm going and seeing, please, surely not. You know what? My reaction for the first goal, I was pissed. The second goal, I see Balogun go through. I'm like, this is a nightmare. He scores. I got up and start clapping. I said, you know what? At this point, knock us out. Season's over. We'll come back next season. Disgusting performance. Disgusting first 25. Luckily, we came back, and honestly, that's why, for me personally, I think the performance is it's bizarre, because on the one hand, you'll go and say, we were able to go and come back. We showed cojones. We showed a resolve. I think that's one thing that we've got, you could argue, better than last year's. That now this year, if we go down 1 or 2, we're like, nah, it's calm. We're coming back. We did it against Tottenham. We've done it against here. We've had several games now where we're down a couple goals and we come back. Even you can go and say last year Liverpool. But now it's like, if we go down a couple goals, we'll be fine. However, I don't like that gimmick, because I don't we should not be relying on having to come back every single time in a game. The Barca, I think, as Owen, you said, the Barca game against Inter, both times they went down twice and they had to come back, and ultimately it didn't work. If that instead of Monaco, if that's a Bayern Munich, heck, even like a Chelsea and whatnot.
If that's an Arsenal, it's wraps. Yeah, Arsenal have the best defense in the world. It's wraps. It's wraps in my eyes.
And it's worse because even we are the team to beat this season, and for seasons to go on. Teams are going to play haram ball. They're going to defend with their lives. You know what I mean? So, we got to find a way to not go behind in every important game. If we keep playing this Barcelona gimmick, We're not gonna go far. I promise you. Chelsea or
100%.
Barcelona will stop us. I promise you.
I think I agree. I think it's almost complacency, almost like an arrogance. I think after the first goal, like many PSG fans, we're all like, okay, it's bad we conceded, but it's like, we got time. We got time. We're PSG. We'll find a way. The second goal, I'm like, and I think it's a repeating pattern now. Even like the game right before against Rennes, we conceded that first goal. We're just like, okay, fine. We only started playing after we conceded the second goal. Like even in this game, we conceded the second goal. 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 goes, presses, wins the penalty. Why do we need to go down by 2 for us to get a reaction? Why don't we just start off? I think that's the big difference between us this year and last year. Is that I think when we're like playing, we could say we're at the same level as we were last year. But I think ultimately is our mentality starting the game. I think this year we're like, we can play at 70%. We'll probably be fine. Whereas last year, it didn't matter where you were. Brest, Liverpool, Barca, Inter, Reims. We're there. We're not your friend. Why are le méchant Paris? We're not flipping playing with you. This year, it's like, it's Rennes, it's away. I'm not. We'll play 70%. That should be okay. And the thing is, we'll go down by 2. Then we realize, oh crap, we actually need to lock in here, and we like try to lock in. But the thing is, though, at times there probably won't be enough time in a game against a Bayern, against an Arsenal and whatnot to be able to go and do so, and that's where we'll get caught out.
Easily. I agree 100%, 100%. If we gotta, I don't want to say every game has to be comfortable. That's impossible, right? They're humans at the end of the day. Yes, they're professionals, but they're humans, right? But if we want to go into games like you said, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, we're talking about Arsenal. Their offense, ew. Like they might not score on us, or they might get 1 goal from a corner. They can easily defend us for 90 minutes. I can confidently say at this point in time, Arsenal will be able to defend us. Bayern will play the game with us, but they will still beat us. They will outscore us. We cannot continue this gimmick. I'm sorry. It just can't continue.
Wholeheartedly agree. As in, we talked about before the goals. We talked about the second goal. You guys said that you thought it was Pacho stepping in and whatnot. What about the first goal? Because who would you guys go into?
I blame Nuno Mendes. I think it was a poor long ball. He played it like right to the midfielder. I'm not gonna put the complete blame on Nuno Mendes, but technically speaking, he gave the ball away, and then the guy behind him is the one who scores. So like, I think if I gotta give the blame to someone mostly, it's mostly Nuno Mendes for me.
Fair enough. For me, from what I saw and replaying it about 1,000 times because I couldn't believe it. Yes, Nuno gave the ball away, but I think it's a bit of that arrogance. We were so relaxed. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like we were so turned off in the first like minute. So like it was like 1 second they have the ball, another second it was a goal. Like it was like there was no urgency, sense of urgency. They're entering our box. Why is it like we're just watching the ball and then he had a completely free header? Yes, Balogun's movement was nice. He kind of fake going this way, stepped back, and was able to get the header. But still, I think it was unacceptable from 0.00 seconds. The intensity has to be high, and I just felt like the intensity, even attacking wise, even after the first goal, just wasn't there. We were doing our passing, things like that. But that's why it was so easy for them to score the second goal because of the lack of urgency, even in defense.
I agree. I think especially the first goal, because I guess you could ultimately go and say, oh, Nuno, gives the ball away. But even like that happens, you're not going to succeed every pass. And if you remember when Nuno gave that ball away, the initial touch by the Monaco player actually went back. So it's not like he went and immediately is running at our goal. It went back. And then I think, so 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 starts initially to press him. But I think also, I think for me, that first goal is just a collective mistake. You could go and say, yeah, Nuno maybe has the biggest share of like burden of responsibility on that. But like, it's his initial ball, yes. But then afterwards, 𝙎𝙬𝘾 presses the guy, doesn't do like he's done okay. I think Dembele, instead, because Dembele is also going towards him. I think Dembele should have gone towards the player who initially deflected it. Then because Dembele doesn't go, Marky then steps up. Where you can go and say, even at the time where the player was, yes, he's running at your goal, but he's not in the most dangerous spot. He's not going to crack a 35-yard. Like, if he does so, fine. But then he gets dragged out of the position, which then means that, okay, he goes and plays it out wide because he's dragged out of position. Then Hakimi's dragged out of position. Hakimi then gets beat because Marquis left. Then Pacho has to slide in for Marquis because Pacho's gone inside for Marquis. Nuno then has to go and cover for him. And then that leaves two people at the back. And then even at the back there, you could go and argue that Nuno doesn't at once like check back, check over his shoulder to go and see who's behind me. So I think overall, it's just defensively, it was calamitous. Like I think Luis Enrique is going to drill them, or at least should be drilling them for that absolute disgustingness.
Yeah, and the fact that, like, in terms of how the game started, a win is a good result. But like when I think Golovin is the one who got sent off, I think, or the dude with like the white hair or whatever. When he got sent off, I thought we should have won by at least 2 goals. I thought the game was gonna end minimum 4-2, possibly 5. So the fact that, like you said in your video, like you said, they sat back the entire time, which is true, which every team should be doing if you're going down a man. We played Bayern Munich and they went down a man. That's what they did. They subbed off attackers, subbed on defenders. So Monaco tactically made the right decision, but like we had chances to score. Like the chances were there. Doué put one away, but we had chances. Lee Kangin almost scored. I think Barcola was like one-on-one with the keeper. He tries to make the keeper, and the keeper like makes a good save. Like we had chances to score. We should have won that game by at least 2 goals, given the context of the second half.
I think for me today, I think perhaps at times this season, or for most of the season, I think a lot of it has been our attack's not been firing as it was last year. But I think today was more so on the defense. Because my thing was like, I want to go in this game, especially after the back of the Rennes game. I'm like, we need to win this game by 3. I don't care how you do it. We need to win this game by 3. And today you can go and say whatever the circumstances. We won by 3. We scored 3 goals. We outscored our opponents. And today the thing that let us down was defensively. If we don't concede those 2 goals and win by 3-0, we're saying happy, no issues, hunky dory. And obviously people will go and say there's context. Oh, even historically, Monaco is like literally. I think Monaco is our bogey stadium. Like it's probably the place we win the least. PSG has a better chance of winning at the Spotify Camp Nou than at the Stade Louis II. Like it is that I think we've got 1 win in the last 6 games prior to that game, and that was last year when we beat them 4-2. But apart from that, it's bad. However, and true again, it comes back to what I was saying before in that it depends on how you can look at it. You can go and look at it on the one hand that PSG were down 2-0. We showed great mentality and character and a mindset to get back into the game. But then also you can go and say, okay, first and foremost, you went down 2. You're playing Monaco, who yes, they've been better. They've been in better form recently. But they're still 8th in Ligue 1. I think of the teams that qualified into the playoffs or for the next round of the Champions League, I think they're the team that scored the least amount of goals. You conceded 2 goals on their 2 shots. Balogun had 2 shots, 2 goals in that game. It was like they were getting way too many chances. And even on top of that, even if you go and you look at it holistically, PSG in the end there, you can go and say are maybe even fortunate. Ultimately, you go and you win. You played the entirety of the second half a man up. And even there, you scored 1 goal and you went up by 1. And even there, arguably, and maybe we'll get onto it, you could argue that Monaco potentially could have had a penalty with that Marquinhos handball potentially. So if that is given as a pen, I can't go and say, oh, that's like I could say that's fair. And if that's given, all of a sudden now you're talking about a draw. Yes, you go and say it's away from home, but you're PSG. I don't care about, it's Monaco. You're PSG. You are the rating title holders. I don't care what Mate means. It doesn't matter. We're PSG. We are the European title holders. We should not be getting held in struggling to a Monaco team. And so I think that's where the issue was, is I was worrying. And especially given that, like, I get the thing is like, oh, we're building up, we're ramping up. It's the thing is though, and a lot of people like to go and say, oh, it was last year. I think we specifically as a fan base, we need to like get away from constantly going and wanting to compare us to last year. Of course, it was an exploit, and we will always remember that. But I think, objectively speaking, if we're being completely honest, I think we are not at the levels we were this time last year. I think if we played last year's team with this year's team, I think we lose. You go and you look at it, even last year, basically from December onwards, we were already ramping up. Then we played City, then we had all those games. Today, it's like we'll have one good game, we'll have the Marseille game where we look like the best team in the world, and then we go and get beat by Rennes. We'll go have a generational performance against Barca and then drop it down, lose to Sporting. Like it's been too many times where you have the Sporting game, the Rennes game, Ligue 1 games, the Monaco game in the league as well, where we've not been at our level to where it's not like I can go, oh, this is a blip. Whereas like last year, we can go over the course of the season, we can go and say that, oh, that game against Chelsea, it's a blip. Now with this year, you're talking about Sporting, you're talking about Monaco, you're talking about Marseille in the league, you're talking about Rennes, you're talking about, like, there's too many games now that are coming. The repetition of PSG's not been at their level. And so I think we need to go and focus on, let's be honest, here's where we are. We need to really get better. And here are the things we need to go to concretely go and be better.
No, for sure. Everything you just said is factual. I mean, the level we're at last year, like you said it perfectly. People that didn't watch Paris didn't see this, but since December 2024, or yeah, we were ramping up. We were doing well. We were starting to actually find the net. Our problem at the beginning of last year, we could not find the nets. We could not score. We would dominate game. The one that made me so mad was the one against Atletico Madrid at home. I couldn't believe we lost that game. But I couldn't believe it. Same with Liverpool. One counterattack. Boom, what happens? Why is it when and to continue that form now and seeing it's giving me PTSD, I'll be real. Because it was like, yeah, the first 2 goals of the Monaco game were literally off of just errors and just it came so quickly. It's like they didn't even have to work for it. 1-2 pass, boom, goal. And is that the best team in the world? No. If you're going to call yourself the best, if you're going to defend this title that we blood, sweat, and tears went into, right? You had to do it 100%. The level cannot drop down so significantly, especially defensively, right? We're talking about Pacho. We're talking about Nuno Mendes, the best left back in the world. We're talking about Hakimi, best right back in the world. We're talking about Quinhos, our captain for how many years now, right? And so to drop that level, it was, I was very sad about it in the Monaco game. Even watching it, even when we scored the 2 goals, I was happy, but I couldn't even celebrate that much because we shouldn't have been 2-0 down.
Exactly.
We shouldn't have been 2-0 down. It made no sense. And that's why I brought up the Barcelona comparison, because it was like, okay, they lost 2-1 to Girona, back-to-back losses, right? I was like, there's no way we're going to do that. There's no way. There's no way. And we did it in a similar style.
Exactly.
Just 1-2 pass goal. I don't know.
I mean, I'd be curious to know. It after that game, it got me thinking of, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but in the last our last 2 league phase games, Luis Enrique in the pre-match press conferences was going and saying I'm not even sure if us finishing top 8 would be good because he wants us to get more games, to get more game time. And honestly, when we ultimately we lost out on top 8, I was like, I think this is probably a reason why we didn't make it into the top 8. It's because he was going and saying if we don't make it, it's not even that big of a deal. Which yeah, I guess you can go in, again, it's the same thing of, last year, look, we didn't get there and look what happened. And I was like, okay, but I'd also rather not go and do so. But now, based on that Monaco game, I'm almost low-key kind of thinking maybe he's right, because now, at least we can go and say, I'd rather go and have us have that performance now against Monaco, a team that you can go, you're better than, and that you'll go, then imagine you play that, and that's against Barca, you're down 2. As bad as Barca's defense is, they're better than Monaco. Or imagine that's Chelsea. I'm not sure we're able to come back like that. So I'm thinking was maybe Luis Enrique thinking that we have to play these extra games, these playoff games? Is it maybe actually beneficial to us in the long run? I'm curious to know, what do you guys think?
I think it is, because we don't have the Coupe de France, and one game a week isn't going to give us much. And I feel like this Monaco game is I feel like this is a hard reality check, because we've had reality checks this season, but it's we're still in a high UCL spot. We barely finished top 8. We barely finished outside the top 8. And a lot of our players, they act like we've won the league by now. We're behind. We're in second. So it's I think this is a good reality check. I honestly think we need these extra games. And as a fan, I don't mind it. I get to see my team play more. So
For sure. I agree. For me, Coach knows best. Coach knows what's on the field, but also what's outside the field. He knows the mentality of the players. He sees them pretty much every day in training as well. So I think him knowing that, and us being out of the Coupe de France as well, limiting our game time just in general. And let's be real, League One isn't the best league in the world. So playing once a week and then now having to fly to Barcelona or fly to Chelsea or whoever and try and dominate them, yes, we'll have energy. I don't know, but like the level, right? The level. Barcelona, as much as I want to trash on them, and certain people online will say, "Oh, La Liga is trash league, is overrated," blah blah blah. Like, there's still teams in La Liga that obviously give hard time to Real Madrid, Barcelona, teams like that. League One has always been a league that we were pretty comfortable in. Even by now, we could say we won the league most years. And so with Luis Enrique saying that, I think, yeah, he knows that we're obviously not at the level physically and mentally that we were last year. We were so hungry last year. That Liverpool game, we put all on the line. I'm thinking Liverpool could have scored so many times in that second half. We put every single ounce of blood, sweat, and tears onto that field, right? Even against Aston Villa, we could have lost that second leg easily. But we grinded it out. Because that's the team. How are we gonna beat Arsenal? Arsenal are, regardless of what people say, oh, they only come second, things like that. Defensively, they are so good. And we were able to beat that. So, and Luis Enrique, obviously he knows that. And so obviously with him saying that, I'm not gonna lie, at first when he did say it, I didn't like it. Because it was like, oh, why are we going mentality? But now seeing the Monaco game, it's like, yeah, like for
you
sure.
look at a point, yeah.
Yeah, he has a point. He's right. Coach knows best. And to try and argue against Luis Enrique, I mean, you gotta be okay. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like we're talking about Luis Enrique here. We're not talking about Pochettino, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yo, why is my U.S. manager catching strays, bro? What's going on? What's going on? Why is the manager of my country catching strays? What are we doing here?
All I'll say is that, you're U.S. man. Listen, respect Pochettino and whatnot. That first year, even then, I can't even go and say he lost the title in his first year. Like, you're talking, he had arguably the greatest front three ever and fumbled.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Messi cooked our front three, bro.
True. But
Di Maria, Neymar, and Mbappe were a better front three than Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, for being honest.
Well, I mean, for PSG, with the benefit of hindsight, but on paper, you'd still go and say that Eminem was like is.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, it could be me. I was happy when Messi left. I'll be honest.
I mean, I think he had to go at that point, but like
I was happy he left. He's finished.
But you can go and argue, like, on paper, like purely footballing wise, football quality wise, the Eminem is quality wise on paper is the greatest front ever, better than MSN. People.
Whoa.
As a player, who you think Suarez is better than Mbappe?
Not as a player, but as a number 9, yes.
But I'm saying that's why I'm saying I'm not saying that Eminem was better than MSN. Obviously not. But I'm saying in terms of because obviously Messi and Neymar were both there, so there's two.
Okay, but like if you look at it, then Messi in PSG is worse, like as a player, than Messi at Barca. Neymar, those specific years when we had Eminem, like Neymar's Barca seasons with MSN were better than Neymar's PSG season with Eminem.
I'm not saying MSN is worse. I'm saying, of course, MSN is better, but I'm saying intrinsically football, like the player quality available, the potential.
Okay, but like Suarez is a better striker than Mbappe. So like as a player, yes, Mbappe is better, but as a striker, Suarez is better. Like if you told me who you want in your number 9 position specifically, I'm taking Prime Suarez over Prime Mbappe.
But even that Prime Mbappe, that was Mbappe's peak.
Dude, Suarez had like 59 goals in the season, I think.
True.
So as a number 9, purely number 9, I'd rather have Suarez.
Would you say that version of Suarez is better than 2021, 2022 Mbappe?
Not as a player.
No, hold on, weren't they both
as a striker? Okay, but like as an individual, like the player, no, but as the like striker, yes, if that makes sense. If you get what I'm saying.
Listen. We're not talking about a front three of like Lucas Moura, Lavezzi, and Ibrahimovic. We're talking about Mbappe 21, 22 Mbappe. Like, you understand what we're talking about?
Yes. Mbappe was our best player by a country mile.
Real Madrid, round of 16. Both legs, our best player. We're talking about Mbappe, the best player in the world, undoubtedly. Like, undoubtedly. Go back to 2015. You're going to say Suarez was the best player of all?
No. 15, 16 Suarez. Let me pull it up real quick.
So do you think 15, 16 Suarez was better than 21, 22 Mbappe?
As a pure number 9, yes.
No. A whole package.
As an association football player.
No.
Okay.
So you agree? So you agree that Mbappe was better?
As an individual, yes, but
yes,
not
so
as a
player,
number, not as a number 9.
So okay, let's change it. Which front three has more potential, MSN or Eminem?
I don't think. I honestly, we gave Eminem 2 seasons. They won 2 trophies, bro. They won Liga back to back. That's it.
I mean, okay, then we can go and say the trophy. I mean, if you want to go and say we agree that they underperformed.
Suarez in.
Hold on.
No. Listen. Hold on. Wait. Suarez in the 15-16 season, and this is coming from a player who Mbappe is, besides Ronaldo, his favorite player ever. So this is some like bias thing. Mbappe, Suarez in 15-16 season, 59 goals. 24 assists. So that's what? 83 GA, right? I believe. Yeah, that's 83 GA. And then, look, not everything's stats, I know. But if you go to Mbappe's stats in 21-22, we are looking at 39 goals and 26 assists. So that's what? 65? So that's, I believe that's 18 more GA for Suarez.
But that's
so
okay.
So then let's go to the conclusion, right? So you think that 15-16 Suarez was better than 21-22 Mbappe?
As a number 9, yes, not as an individual player. As a number, as a pure.
2023 Haaland played for 2015 Barcelona.
That's
basically the same. As a number 9, fine.
Kylian Mbappe would not. Okay. Let's take it this way. If you put that 21-22 version of Kylian Mbappe on that 14-15 Barcelona team, I don't think he does as well as Suarez does. I'll be honest.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
I'll be honest.
Wow.
He's look. I know.
You know why he doesn't? You know why he's not able to do so? Because they burn him at the stake for witchcraft. Hold on. You're telling me a prime peak
Listen,
Messi, young Messi, 14, 15, 16 Neymar with a young, fresh Mbappe. What they would have done to Europe? I'd be prosecuting them for war crimes. What they would have done to football? What? Look, hold on. I think like low key.
Okay.
It's gonna sound crazy.
Okay.
People
take Real Madrid. Look. I know this sounds bad when you say it, but Mbappe is not a number 9, bro. He is not a number 9. He's not. Mbappe is not a number 9, bro. Let's be real.
What is he doing right now?
Mbappe is, if you look at most of his goals, they come from the left side. Why? Because he's a left winger or left forward. He is not a pure number 9. The reason that front three works so well is because Suarez was a pure number 9. He's good in the air. He was just a good like poacher in the box, finisher. I'm not saying Mbappe is not that stuff, but like Suarez is like, honestly, you could say Suarez is one of, if not the most complete number 9 in football history. Like, you could make that argument.
That's fine. That's fine. He fit the system. Ooh,
exactly.
He fit the system.
And guess what? Guess what? Not to mention the fact, who was that manager? Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique has heavy criticism of Mbappe. Luis Enrique is not a fan of Mbappe. So you think, if you put him... Okay, I'm going to ask you this. If you put Mbappe on that team, you think he starts over Suarez?
I think Luis Enrique would put. Hold on, whoa, First and foremost, where's this gimmick that Luis Enrique hates Mbappe?
Yeah,
no. He's not a fan. He's not a fan. He's not a fan of Kylian. He's not a fan of Kylian.
No.
You don't.
Wait,
No. A player does not leave. A player does not leave, and you say some egregious shit like, "I'm happy you left" or some shit like that. Because that's what
he said.
He said that. That's what he said about Neymar.
Said.
That's what he said about Neymar. But like Mbappe, he's like, we're gonna be so much without Mbappe, bro. If you respect a player, you don't come out and say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. If a player leaves of that quality, I'm gonna be like, you know what? He did everything for the club. I appreciate him. I think we can still win the UCL. You say something like that, saying I'm gonna be better without this guy, bro. Egregious work.
He said the team would be better without Mbappe.
Like
hold on, I think you're forgetting. At the Euros, after Mbappe was no longer a PSG player, one of the things he said, one of the reasons first and foremost he was able to re-intake, because remember when Luis Enrique took over initially, Mbappe didn't travel to Japan or wherever we went to the in Asia for like our the usual preseason frenzy and whatnot. And the reason he said, Mbappe himself went and said, the reason I was able to get it is because Luis Enrique and Luis Campos vouched for me. If it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have kicked the football for PSG ever again. So. Like, I think the reason he left was things that were out of Luis Enrique's control. It was done. I think he was just making now deal with a bad situation. Now, if you go and I feel like, listen, it's bizarre because on the one hand, you could argue that if we had Mbappe last season, do we win the UCL?
No.
Maybe not. Maybe Mbappe's not willing to go and do so. True. However, if you told Luis Enrique, would you want to have Mbappe or would you want to have him? You'd say, of course I want to have him. Of course I want to have him. I think on the one hand, especially we've become we lack nuance. Yes, Mbappe, you can go and say, was attracting a lot of attention towards himself, but also you'd be lying if you went and said you have the option of getting Mbappe. You're saying no, I do not want Mbappe. Come on, be serious.
I'm not gonna lie, like Mbappe's our best player in history, but I think if we added him right now, that'd ruin the chemistry. Like
yeah, you can make
I would
case,
not
if
you told me right now to swap Mbappe for Dembele, I'm not doing it. I'll be honest.
Okay, but that doesn't mean all of a sudden now that Mbappe is a bad player.
That's how I've never. Where? Okay, now you're putting words in my mouth. I never said Mbappe was a bad player. That's not what I said.
No, but so you think
Mbappe's the best player?
Luis...
Mbappe is the best player in PSG history. I don't think Luis Enrique didn't not respect him, but I think Luis Enrique respects a Dembele way more than he respects a Mbappe or something like that. Like, to put it into perspective.
Well, I think that's more so because Dembele just took what Luis Enrique did to a T. So,
No. But you've seen that clip of Luis Enrique yelling at Mbappe, like he was showing him you press, and Mbappe doesn't do that. I think that lost a good amount of Luis Enrique's respect to the point where, if you leave, it's whatever at this point. There's nothing more I can do for you at that point. I don't think he stopped respecting him, but I think he stopped caring. I think he's like, you know what, just do whatever you want at this rate. That's how I think he views it.
I think the thing is, though, for that, I just think Mbappe leaving was out of Luis Enrique's control. There's nothing he could have done.
I'm not saying Luis Enrique could have controlled it, but I'm saying Luis Enrique was at this point, it is what it is. This guy doesn't listen.
That's literally what it. No, but it's not. Okay, I agree. I think Luis Enrique would have wanted Mbappe to, take to heart what he was going and telling him, and you can argue that Mbappe wasn't following that to a T. I agree. However, to go and make it Luis Enrique is oh, okay, fine then. It's more so Luis Enrique is okay, you're gone now. Let me make if you the classic saying, if you've got lemons, make lemonade. You can only do with what you have. If he now knows he's gone, okay, I'm gonna make do with what I have.
How Luis Enrique hates Mbappe.
I don't. Okay. Luis Enrique does not hate Mbappe. Put that out of context. But I think Luis Enrique got to a point where he's at this rate, I don't. He's like, you know what? It's like when you have that one teammate who just doesn't listen. You're like, you know what? There's nothing I can do to help this guy. I'm just gonna let him. I'm gonna let him do whatever he wants. I'm gonna let him piss off at this rate.
But the thing is, what?
Wait, hold on. So then, would you go and you say that Luis Enrique then did not like Messi? Because historically, when Luis Enrique left, one of the reasons, allegedly, again, is that apparently they didn't see eye to eye oftentimes. There were a couple of times where Luis Enrique benched Messi. Messi didn't appreciate that.
I don't think Luis.
So you're gonna go and say that? What? Now all of a sudden, Luis Enrique likes
Dembele
more than Messi.
Is it ridiculous to say that?
Okay, I mean,
Is there?
all right,
Is it ridiculous to say that?
Clip this, and let's.
Is it ridiculous to say that?
Okay.
I'm not saying
Listen.
Luis Enrique headed Messi, but I was like, that's not what I'm putting out there, right? But it's like, honestly, I think Dembele might be one of the players like Luis. Like, honestly, out of all the players Luis Enrique coach, I think he respects Dembele the most. If I'm being honest.
Okay, I mean,
Because
That's
like,
fair to say that. That's fair
look
to say,
what
honestly.
like you gotta think about like the player he transformed Dembele into. We're talking about a guy who scored 6 goals in a season, and then went on to win like every individual award: Champions League Player of the Year, Transfer Market Player of the Year, Ballon d'Or, FIFA Best, Global Best. I think they're like the Dubai Best or whatever. Like he won everything, everything. He won all the trophies with the Club World Cup. Like he won everything. He transformed him.
but you could argue that Luis Enrique sort of turned Neymar into the Neymar that we know today. Like Neymar's first.
Whoa,
season
whoa,
at
whoa, whoa, whoa!
Barcelona-
Hold on.
No.
I'm gonna give you a hot take. I'm gonna give you a hot take. Neymar's best season was the 11-12 season at Santos. That was Neymar's best season. That was Neymar's best season. That is the hot take of the day. That is the hot take of the day.
Owen.
That version of Neymar,
No, let's be
that
serious now,
young,
let's be serious
no,
now.
listen,
You're
that
not
young,
serious.
that
No,
young
you're not
version of
serious, you're
Neymar,
joking, bro.
that
You're not
young
serious,
version
you're
of
not
Neymar
serious.
is better than any version of Yamal.
He was the most free. I can say he was able to do whatever he wanted.
Top
Because
10,
that's the Brazilian
top 10,
league.
top 10 in the Ballon d'Or while playing in South America. When have you seen that?
Impressive.
True,
When
that's
have you
true.
seen that?
But you said that that's the best version of Neymar.
Honestly,
Neymar
bro,
Jr.?
If I could,
So you're saying that version? So what?
No.
Neymar
No, wait. Hold on. That version, that 11-12 version is better than any. Neymar's best season was the first season he came to PSG. But that 11-12 Santos version is better than any version. Yes, better than 14-15 version of Neymar. I'm taking 11-12 Santos Neymar over 14-15 Barca Neymar.
No. You can't say no.
Yes.
No.
No, he's joking. He's joking.
Yes.
No,
I'm
you're
being so for real. I'm being so for real. 40.
So you mean the Neymar? Hold on. You mean the Neymar that scored in the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of the Champions League, being one of only I think 3 players ever in the history of football. The Neymar that had the most years in the Champions League.
40.
The Neymar that was Champions League Player of the season. Stop this flipping gimmick.
42 goals for that trash ass Santos team. Won them the Paulista, won them the Brazilian Serie A, got to the Club World Cup final, got top 10 in the Ballon d'Or. I'm taking that Neymar. Yes.
Neymar himself will come and tell you, buddy,
Nah,
you're
literally,
chatting
bro.
shit. Neymar himself will
right
come and
now
say you're
what are you
chatting
talking
shit.
about, bro? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Listen, I respect what you're saying. Neymar, 11-12 Neymar is insane. Like, I've made videos on that Neymar.
11-12 Neymar is better than any version of Yamal.
That's a separate. I'm not gonna get onto that. That's if people want to get angry at that, fine.
You don't want to talk about Lamine around me, bro. Like that. That's something. You know what I'm saying?
That's for you guys to go figure out. But
but 11-12 Neymar being the best version of Neymar. That's what
you said. That was your claim.
No. No. I'm saying that Santos season is better than him at any Barca. But that first season he came to No, that's not what I meant. The first season of when Neymar came to PSG is his best ever season. But that Santos 11-12 season is better than any version of him at Barca.
That's scary thoughts, though. Like, cause
gone, bro.
That's so scary,
bro.
So you've always thought that?
So you hold on. So you think that 11-12 Neymar, baby Neymar, 19-year-old Neymar is better than 15-16 Neymar where Messi was out for 3 months?
No. I said, okay, Neymar's best season, we can agree, at Barcelona was 14-15 season, was 14-15.
Debatable. I mean, you could say 50-60. You could say 50-60 Neymar.
All right. Here, you wanna like clip this real quick? I'll say it on record. Neymar, 11-12, with 42 goals, won the Paulista, won the Serie A, got to the Club World Cup final, got top 10 in the Ballon d'Or playing in South America, never happened since. That version of Neymar at Santos, 11-12, 2011, 2012, yes, the same season Messi scored 73 goals. that version of Neymar is better than any version of Neymar Barcelona. I am saying that officially. That is officially on record.
You're gonna get me defending Neymar. You're gonna be defending Barca. Hold on, okay.
I can't do that. I can't really do that.
Without listen.
Now, I will also say this on record. The Neymar at PSG is the first season of Neymar at PSG is his best ever season.
I can hear that.
I agree.
But 11-12 is his second best season.
Second best season.
Owen,
Well, unless there's a better season, unless there's a second. No. I think unless there's another PSG season, I'm like obviously.
Hold on, you think that 18-19 Neymar was worse than 11-12?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember 18-19 Neymar that
okay,
much.
so then this.
So wait, hold on. 18-19 Neymar for reference. 28 games, 23 goals, 13 assists.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Are we taking 19-20 Neymar over 18-19 Neymar?
I mean, probably. I mean, I probably would. Yeah.
Okay. I might be forgetting some of Neymar's seasons, but I will die on the hill of Santos Neymar better than Barca Neymar.
That I disagree. Even that I disagree with. Stop.
With any Barcelona, so
any Barca.
11. Okay, let me reiterate. 2011, 2012 Neymar is better than any version of Neymar that played for FC Barcelona.
Yeah, no comment. Listen, for me, no comment.
I can't. Let's move. It's so ridiculous of a take. Entertaining it means giving it gas. Let's move on.
Bro, Owen, I want to agree with you, bro. You're saying
that's too much. That's too much.
I can't get behind that.
You know what? Me and Dylan, let it be on the record. Me and Dylan disagree. All right, for the Barca fans, do not
me with that. Don't.
Also that 2011 Neymar won the Copa Libertadores, which is the Champions League of South America. So we can put that on record too.
Okay.
We can put that on record too.
You fight that battle yourselves. All right? Don't no we in this. That's you. That's it. Take you and you alone.
Yeah. The we as in a French we. Okay.
Okay, yeah. That or you're using the royal. You're using the royal we. You're using the royal we. You're talking about yourself here. Not do not associate me with that. Okay, fine.
By the way, Junior also agrees with my opinion.
No, I do not. I do not agree. Listen, I agree that
Neymar and DK also agree with the opinion, guys.
Listen, 2011-12 Neymar is a generational player.
Best teenager ever, besides Pele.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on from Neymar. And this is me. Neymar is my favorite player of all time. But what I use it. Calma. But talking about a Neymar-esque player, we need to go and talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself, the man that's getting abused on social media, the Neymar regen. 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝑗. No.
I'm calling Junior out. I'm calling Junior out. Junior was talking the other day, talking about some 𝙎𝙊 needs to get benched. 𝙎𝙊's been trash all season.
Yeah.
No. Let me.
Now you are saying Neymar was getting flame from fans. You are flaming him too. What are we doing here? The hypocrisy is at next level.
Let Dylan cook.
Let me talk about Dez.
Desiree,
right? That's my player. We are the same age, born the same year. That's my guy, right? But I was the first to be like, bench this guy, please. Mm-hmm. What he's doing on the field, right? Did you watch the game we lost to Rennes?
Yeah, I watched the full 90.
Okay, cool. Do you remember? Okay, first of all, when Dez tried to chip it, fine. You miss your chances, but you have to score that. Second of all, when you're overly compensating, when you're trying to dribble too much, right? That Luis Enrique is going to see that and be like, nah. Luis Enrique is a serious coach, bro. We don't have a coach now that's just going to let things slide. La-di-da-di-da. Yeah, dribble, do what. No, bro. He deserved to be benched. He needs to learn that he's such a young player, so we can't put it past him. You're getting named Neymar regen, things like that. Of course, a little bit of that is going to go to your head. you're going to want to do those things on the pitch. You want to get those clips. I'm not going to be a winger and try and just pass it back. I want to take on a man. But when you're doing it too much, I don't want to say that Dembele, what he said after the game was the best thing he could have said at that point. Obviously, he was angry, but Paris Saint-Germain comes first. Paris Saint-Germain comes first. Your clips, all that, Paris has to win. That's what we do. That's what's essential. So when 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼, I'm his biggest fan at this point. Like, I love 𝙎𝙊𝘾. Ever since he was at Rennes, I loved him, bro. He went to the Olympics. He did his thing. Bayern were this close. This close. Tottenham as well were this close to signing 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼. I remember, bro. And he decided to come to Paris after the Olympics. I was so happy. But I'll be the first one to say, when a player's not aligning to the way we play and putting himself, not saying he was putting himself first, of course not, but the way you play on the pitch is what we see. We don't see you off of the pitch. We don't see inside your brain and what you're thinking. So what we see on the pitch translates to pretty much what you kind of stand for at that moment. If you're gonna play like that, you can't be a starter. That's impossible. It's literally impossible. That's what I had to say about this area.
Yeah, and then to go on, because you were attacking me, calling me a hypocrite. First and foremost, I went and said he's not playing well, and unlike a certain 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 fan base, all right, whenever our play doesn't go well, I go and say it. He's not doing good enough. All right, we have to be honest. You gotta call a spade a spade. And now, if you're gonna go and say, oh, you were saying this before, now you're saying this. You know what? There's a famous quote that says, "When facts change, opinions change." When I was speaking on Saturday, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 didn't go and drop 3GA basically in a Champions League game. Okay, we're down 2-0. He comes up, rescues us, shushes the haters. Listen, that's all I'm going to saying. 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 did not have. He's not been playing good, and I would even back then, I think that some fans were being overly critical. I thought that that chance that he had, but I think people at times, within aspects of the PSG fan base, were being overly critical. And all of a sudden now he's a bum. I think he was not performing well, but I think people were making it seem as though this guy was like performing at a 1 out of 10 and whatnot. I think it was that bad. He was not himself. However, today he proved that. He played well. Even, for example, the game before against Marseille, even though he didn't score, I thought he played overall pretty well. So I'm being consistent. All I'm going and saying that we can't, again, I won't go. I'm not like Barca fans, all right? Every single time they have one good game, I'm not going to go into all of a sudden saying they're generational. He had a good game today. Let's hope he has that again against Mets, and then again next week, and then we'll move on from there. That's all I'm saying. Stop being hypocritical. I'm being consistent. I'm being honest.
The consistency is what makes the player, bro. We
Exactly.
can't. One game he does well. I could make a video now on my TikTok and be like, "This is where he dropped the masterclass. He's the best player in the." I'm not gonna do that, bro. He did well. Let's see for the next game.
Exactly.
Consistency is what's building our club. You can't just drop one masterclass or a good game, and then all of a sudden now, as a supporter of a club, be like, "Oh yeah, this player is 10 times better than this player, than this player, than this player." That's just impossible. That's not a true fan. You got to see it out. You got to see the games. It has to be a long string of games. It has to just be consistency. That's the most important.
No, I do agree that benching 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 was the right decision, but another decision I think we make, I think it's about time we bench 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼. I think we've reached that point. That point has been reached. I can't remember the last time 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 had a really good game starting. The last 2 games where he's caused a big impact was the Marseille and the Sporting game where he came off the bench. I think when it comes to next week, assuming Dembele doesn't play, which I don't think he is, because I think he's gonna be out for 2 weeks. 𝙎𝙊𝘾, Barcola, and Lee Kang-in should be the starting 11 in my opinion. I don't think 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 should start.
For me, for Quara, I will say, some of the times when I'm watching him, he has been underwhelming. He hasn't had that game-changing factor on the field that, let's say, he was having last year. But yes, he can get. I won't completely disagree with you. Yes, he can get benched. That's fine. But I feel like he fits the system to a T that Luis Enrique is trying to build. If that makes sense. he just fits the overall. When we're on the field, he just looks right. And I'm not saying that should be a reason why he should never get benched. That's impossible. But I feel like yes, he has been underwhelming this season. I'll be the first to say it. I even criticized him back in November. I made a whole video about him and saying that this is just not enough. This is not enough from a player that I have such high regards of. And I'm not gonna say now, yeah, besides the sporting game that he came on the bench, you know, even the chances he's creating is just not for me, the caliber player and the player I know he is and see, it's just not complete, it's just not enough for me. You know what I mean? And so that's why I think, and I do agree to a certain extent where yes, he can get benched, but he's too important of a player to, I feel like, in Luis Enrique's plans to be, to be out for too long.
I don't think he has to be out for too long, but the main issue I have with 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼, especially when Barkle is on the field, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 cannot play on the right. It's not like, oh, he's good here and there. He's physically he's just incapable of playing on the right. He does not affect the game at all on the right. There is nothing coming from when he's on the right wing. I don't know if he just refuses to shoot on his left. There was a chance in the game where I felt like he could have cut inside and shoot. The only time he affected the game from the right, I guess, yesterday was drawing the penalty, but that's more of a defensive error from FaZe. As a right winger, he's not affected.
Hold on, wait. What about the goal?
Bro, that's like a 3-yard pass. Are we dead ass?
I mean, he's hold on. Isn't he the one who plays the back? Is it him?
No, Hakimi back passes it. 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 taps it to 𝙎𝙬𝘼. Bro.
But he was dribbling initially from
all
the right.
All our wingers are making that play. All of them. All of them, bro. Every single one. Versus when you cannot tell me that 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 yesterday was better than Lee King. Because if you tell me that, you're lying. You are lying.
I think Kang,
you are lying.
I would say that.
I think Kang needs to start. And I think Kang deserves more playing time. Because Kang could be a starting right winger for a lot of pretty solid teams. I think.
So then why would you have? I'm not necessarily going saying that Barkle. Or Kvara has to go on the bench. But why, for example, why would you say that he needs to start over Barcola?
I think Barcola caused more problems than Kvara did yesterday. Even when Kvara was pushed to the left wing, I don't think Kvara caused a lot of problems. And the way Kvara plays, we were talking about this earlier. We said we'd rather keep Barcola than Kvara. We both said this, Junior. It's on record. Yeah. I have evidence of it.
Yeah, but in terms of being consistent, for example, now goals. If you're telling me I need to go and get a goal and whatnot in a clutch moment, I'll probably go and say then I would want.
That's why I think Kvara. I think Kvara's more. Honestly, I think Kvara's been more effective off the bench recently, and I think Barcola, the way he was able to get past players yesterday, the link up play between him and Nuno Mendes is really good. I think if like I said, assuming Dembele does not play, 𝙎𝙊𝘾, Barcola, and Lee should be the starting lineup next week. Do I think it will happen? No. Is that what I think should happen? Yes. And then you bring Kvara off the bench.
Fair enough. There is one player though that shouldn't even see the field ever in his career. Whether he's at Paris, playing in the Prem, he should retire. Really, 𝙎𝙬𝘼. I feel like with him, right? I genuinely, when he signed, I was like, okay, Luis Enrique has a plan. I trust my coach 110%. But the play, I hate being crazy critical. But 𝙎𝙬𝘼, please just go back to Bournemouth. I'm not a sports.
Yo, Bournemouth scammed us out of what? How much did we pay?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth,
take 𝙎𝙬𝘼 and we'll add 100 million on top of it.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Take 𝙎𝙬𝘼 and take Lucas 𝙎𝙬𝘼 while you're at it too, bro.
Chill, my boy.
Take both.
I don't know, with 𝙎𝙬𝘼, I've got more patience with 𝙎𝙬𝘼.
I have more patience.
I honestly 𝙎𝙬𝘼 is one of those players I just feel horrible for, because it's this season he had Like honestly, if you're Lucas 𝙎𝙊𝘾, you're coming into the season thinking I'm PSG's number one. I could possibly go into the World Cup being France's number one, and then every time something happens, you're getting crucified by PSG fans because of the way you were brought into the club. Like, Donnarumma getting kicked out because of like a fallout with Luis Campos, Al Khalifi, and the coach. Like, and then you're brought in under circumstances, which is like, okay, whatever. But then all the fans criticize you every time you make a mistake, and that just kills your confidence. And it's like you have good performances here and there. He had the Marseille game in the Trophy des Champions final. That was his best performance of the season for me. And then a few games later, he has a stinker versus Sporting, and Luis Enrique's like, this guy ain't good anymore. Starts playing Safanov, and Safanov has been outperforming him. So like, I feel bad for Lucas 𝙎𝙬, but it's like the performances haven't been there. At some point, you gotta look at it and be like, I don't know. I don't think Luis Enrique is really gonna give him another chance. I don't see it happening.
I mean, I think like even like going back to yesterday, I don't think there's anything that he could have done there. I also think that at times like we were a bit harsh also on 𝙎𝙬𝘾, but I think that's also just the nature of being a keeper. If you make one even slight mistake or something that's not really a mistake, you're getting hounded on. But like yesterday, I don't think Safonov, like any of the goals that we conceded are like his fault. You can maybe argue that like the second goal we conceded there, like you can say maybe he should be doing a bit better there, but it's just he's been let down by his defense and whatnot. But the thing with for me, the difference with 𝙎𝙬𝘾 when we brought him is, as you said, that the circumstances in which he came into the club are different than with 𝙎𝙬𝘾. When Martin 𝙎𝙬𝘾, it was you got rid of. You could potentially go and say Donnarumma is PSG's best keeper of all time, right? You can go and you can put him in those conversations, right? And I think it's fair to go and say that most PSG fans did not want him to leave. Whereas with 𝙎𝙬𝘾, like everyone wanted him. We've been scouting him for a really long time. And, to the point where I remember specifically because 𝙎𝙬𝘾 was like in the United States during the Club Cup, and there were talks of like, oh, one of the reasons he's there is like there was like that Fugazi, little transfer window before the Club Cup started, and that we wanted to get him then. And ultimately, okay, for all that, we did all of those things. We ended up going and paying a lot of money, 63 million euros for him. I believe that after Hakimi, our second most like expensive defender in the history of our club. And he's come in and he's meant to be, the heir apparent to Marquinhos. And Marquinhos, it's not like he's been stellar this year either. Marquinhos has been better than him. Plain and simple. So there's that aspect. And then not only, and that's okay, fine. Give him time. He's still young. For me, it's then all the stuff off the pitch. Like, at least
the whole Safanov situation is outrageous to me because it's like, bro, at some point you got to put politics aside. Safanov is not like, Safanov ain't doing shit. Safanov's just here to play football. Safanov's been better than you, and it's like, you don't come into a club, like the thing why it was like delayed, like the transfer, because 𝙎𝙬𝘾 wanted Safanov out of the club. He wanted him gone. Like, bro, you don't come into a club asking a player to leave and then be dog shit. Like, he is literally living off that Barca game. Living. That's the reason, like, he gets minutes. Like, here and there, when him and Lucas brought up in the partnership, he's had a decent few games. Like, I think it was the game where both Beraldo and he scored. I think it was the 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 game, which I think was like right before Barca. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, it was 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼. It was right before Barca, yeah.
Yeah, and since that Barca game, he's been piss poor. Which he did have a really good performance that game against Barca. But he hasn't been good since. So I don't think we're gonna sell him. And honestly, I wouldn't sell him. I'd give him a little more time. But it's like, and now that 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 has re-signed a contract with Bayern, who realistically we're gonna probably look for a Marquinhos replacement. Who do you think we go after? Who do you think is the most realistic option? There's been talks about 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 𝑘onaté.
No, not with this season. Not with this season.
He's been better recently.
Yeah, true.
Obviously, he's probably going to get good minutes at the World Cup because I think 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝙇 and 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 will be the starting center back pair. We'll probably come off the bench here and there. So maybe we'll have to see. And there's still time in the rest of the season, for him. So
I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think it's a bit early now to go and be thinking and projecting as to who we want to go and get in. It could be that Pacho and Marquinhos are still good. Like, the thing is, that Marquinhos also, he's not old. Like,
he's 31.
yeah, but and he's a center back, so like he's not crazy old either. And I think like he's been good enough to where let's stick with it for now at the very least.
Yeah, I don't think we have to I don't think it's like an urgency to get a new one or anything like that.
Especially he's our captain. Like he's been our number one. Like he knows the club culture. He knows the language of the left back. That's next to him. The center back that's next to him. I feel like he brings qualities that I don't think a lot of defenders have nowadays. Just that leadership, that constant threat in that defense. When people are versing Paris, they know they're going to verse Marquinhos. And don't get it twisted, Marquinhos back like a couple of years ago, I was very upset about him starting a lot. That's back. I don't want to get into that, but if you know, you know. But
Real Madrid game.
Like I said, I don't want to get into. I'll start. There's just certain performances that he just wasn't his best. But regardless, he's our captain, and he's deserved all the success that he's brought to Paris. But yeah, for right now, I don't think. And if we are gonna look, it has to be. That defender has to bring in the same qualities as Marquinhos, because losing Marquinhos would be a humongous loss for this club. Regardless of what people say, any mistakes that he makes, him leaving mentally for the players even around him, he brings the morale up for the team. So yeah, we're just gotta find a similar type of player or have someone on the team that's that way inclined, to be honest.
Yeah, not to mention the fact he's been at the club. I think he's the only player left from the 2021 team that made the semifinals and lost to Man City. He's the only player left from that team. Everybody else is gone. Everybody.
Damn.
Like, he's been at the club since he was 17 or 18. He's been at the club for
Roma, right?
He came from Roma at 19.
Yeah, he's been at the club for 12 years, so he's been there. He's been loyal. I honestly don't see him leaving anytime. I don't think he'd leave on his own terms unless he stopped getting minutes or whatever. Because it's not like he's retiring soon. He's probably gonna retire after the 2034 World Cup or something like that. But he's got a few good years. I'd say he's got at least 2 to 3 good years in him.
Yeah, potentially.
So we'll have to see what happens, of course. If Luis Enrique's this guy's still fine, he's gonna keep him. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out. I don't think there's any urgency to get one right now.
Okay, great. So what do you guys think then for the second leg then? How do you guys think, number one, how do we line up? And also in terms of the performance and what the result we should be getting for the second leg, what do you guys think?
So in my eyes, how we should generally line up, I go Safanov, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Mendes, Neves, Vitinha, Zaire-Emery, Lee, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼, 𝙎𝙬𝑗.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty much similar. Don't change it up too much. Really, the only thing you're really going to be changing up from the first leg lineup is going to be the front three. I do think Lee can get minutes. And he deserves to start. He's been great off the bench. But I still put Kvara at least starting this second leg. So yeah, it will probably be 𝙎𝙬 up top, and then 𝙎𝙬𝘾 and Kvara, if anything. If because I feel like with Kavar, like I was saying before, he fits the system to a T with what Luis Enrique is demanding from a winger, and I don't think a game that we're only leading by one goal, um, he's gonna take out a player of his caliber just yet. So I would stick with Kavar.
Do you guys not see the potential of putting Lee in midfield and taking
No,
Warren?
no, 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 no. I am not a fan of when Dwayne and Lee play in the midfield, bro. It
No, not
is
Dewey and Lee. Just
no. I'm
Lee.
just saying in general when they play in the midfield, bro. It is so bad. They are poor. They are not good enough defensively as midfielders to play there. Lee, bro. If we, oh my God, if we play Lee or Dwayne in the midfield, bro, just blow the final whistle and give Monaco the win. Dead ass, bro. If we play Lee or if we play Lee or Dwayne in the midfield, I'd rather play Dro in the midfield. I'd rather start Dro in the midfield than them two.
Oh, okay.
No, no,
Yeah,
I'm so for real. I'm so for real. I'm so for real. I'd rather Dro play in the midfield than either of us playing the midfield, bro. I'll be honest. Why would we? Who would we bench if we played Lee in the midfield?
Warren, you take Warren off.
Aye.
As I'm not saying that this is what I want. I'm just going, putting it out there. As a
Why?
possibility.
Why would we take Warren out? Well, I thought Warren was
No,
fine yesterday.
No, I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying if you think that Lee was as good as he was.
If Lee should start, he should start on the right wing.
Okay. Yeah, it's not.
This is all assuming Dembele does not play. By the way,
I suppose.
Yeah, like
honestly, I don't. I think we'll keep him on the bench. I will put him in the squad. We should only play him if we genuinely need to. Like if it's like we're losing, type of thing.
Yeah, if Dembele is available, do not start him. Like I think losing.
No, yeah, I think starting him would be a poor idea.
And I think probably Dembele will probably rest the weekend. I don't think he will even be included. But yeah, for that with Lee being in the midfield, I don't hate the idea. I just think the profile, the way we play in terms of attacking wise, I think he will be excellent. But I do agree. I think with Owen, I think defensively he will be caught out many, many times. He has the heart, but I don't think he has the IQ that let's say Warren has in the midfield. Because Warren, he played right back while Hakimi was injured / AFCON, and we saw Warren adapt to that position very, very well. But I don't think Lee right now, and especially in a Champions League game where we have to win to go through, and we're winning on aggregate, that's fine. But just to certify that win, I think if we're going to play Lee in the midfield, it should be in a lower. It shouldn't be in an important game as versus Monaco in the round 32. But I do like flirting with the idea of playing Lee in the midfield more often, though.
What about another midfielder who is scheduled to be coming back from injury, Senor Fabian? If he goes and he's able to go and start and play significant minutes, for example, against Mets, because I'm not entirely sure what the timeline is for him, but let's say he's able to get a couple minutes. Do you think that he could potentially start for in the final? Because I think one of the
he's one of those. He's one of those like not talked about really important players. Like he's genuinely so important. Like it's unbelievable how important he is versus like how little he gets talked about. But like again, I guess it's not really the same thing with Dembele because Fabian Ruiz doesn't have the same like Dembele has a specific hamstring problem. Fabian Ruiz he doesn't really have many injury problems at least, but like. I don't see a world where we don't go through. I don't think it's like, honestly, I don't think it's worth it to play Dembele or Fabian in the second leg. I think it's one of those players you just rest, you trust your team. Zairemi's been really good. This is like 23-24 Zairemi we're seeing again. So like, I don't think there's a world where we should honestly give Dembele or Fabian minutes over the next two games.
Any at all.
I don't think it's worth it.
Fabian should play. Saturday.
Dembele definitely not.
For both, as in, I mean,
Dembele should not
I'm
play against Metz or Monaco.
I mean, I'm not seeing the reports afterwards, but like, if it's not, if he's not able, Mets fair. But the game against Monaco is a week from now, and I've not
Off
really
the
looked
bench.
at the
Off the
reports.
bench. Off the bench maximum.
Yeah, so off. Okay, so off the bench still.
If the game's close, yes.
Okay.
But if we're
Yeah.
3-0 up and we bring him on, I ain't gonna be happy.
But then don't you also want him to, especially given that we're not playing nearly as much, getting more game time, play more? Because
Dembele, no. If we're up by comfortable, I don't want Dembele playing. Don't risk the injury. We need him versus Barcelona or Chelsea.
But don't you also want him then to like play enough to be fit?
Okay, you can play him the week. You can play him the weekend after. You can play him the weekend after.
Against Le Havre.
Yeah, just start him or something. Don't give him it, or come off the bench and then he can start versus. And then I think there's another game after that, and then we'd face Barcelona or Chelsea. This is all assuming we go through. Which I think it'll be I think it'll be a 3-0 win at home. That's my score prediction.
I would like to say I don't see Monaco scoring, but with the way our defense has been, and to be realistic and logical, I can see Monaco giving us a challenge at the Parc des Princes. Like, I don't want to say that obviously, but I can see us winning by like 2-1. Like, I don't think we're gonna go into that game like scoring like 4-0. If we do, beautiful, we'll celebrate. But I'm not gonna get ahead of myself and just randomly be. Even if we do well on the weekend, like that, I don't even think the weekend game should even be talked about really when it comes to
they're bottom of the table. It's at home. They've been awful all season. That's a game we should win 3 or 4-0 in my eyes. Like a comfortable 3-0, like a 3-0, like we're chilling, like just a comfortable 3-0. We probably, I don't think we'll play our typical starting lineup. Just give players some rest. Like we'll probably run with like the 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝑍 center back partnership or something like that. We'll probably give like Ramos a good amount of minutes. We'll probably start Lucas Hernandez. We might give Lucas Hernandez some minutes at left back. We'll still play 𝙎𝙾𝘖𝑚𝑖 and Savinov because we don't have a true back or right back, and 𝙎𝙬𝑚𝑖 is not a fan playing that. Besides, our other midfielders, Fabian and Jantu and Mayula are out anyways.
So you think we rotate against Mets?
Yeah.
But
Luis Enrique rotates our team religiously, and it's against the bottom of the table team. I would not be surprised if Dro starts.
I mean, the thing I would say again, yes, they're not good, and PSG should win. But I think for one, PSG is like they need to guarantee the win for one, and two, also like we need to continue on with the fitness. One of the reasons why Luis Enrique said that he wanted to be able to play these playoffs is to get more games in to allow players to get back up to steam. If you're not going to go and play them, then sort of what's the point? And also, it's like both games are at home, so it's not like we're going to be traveling or doing anything crazy like that either.
Yeah, I agree. I think completely changing the lineup would be a mistake. I feel like we gotta detach ourselves from previous years. We are in a title race. Every point counts. Every point. We have to win. I don't think you understand. We still have big games in the league in the League One later on this season. These are the points that we have to guarantee. If we don't pick up the guaranteed points, Kalas, London will win easy. They win the League One and we'll lose. You know, there's teams even creeping up. Lyon with Endrick. They're creeping up right beside us. They have like 45. We have like 51, something like that. It's not far. So I think what we do is, yes, we can play different players, like maybe sub them in or like have like maybe 2 players that aren't usually in the starting lineup, but majority of the players that are going to be starting in huge games for us should be playing. I don't want to say Dembele should be 100% starter. I don't know if he's 100% well yet, but if he can get some minutes for Mets, he should definitely be playing that game. For sure. Kvara undoubtedly has to be playing that game. Barcola has to be playing that game. Our midfield, if Fabian can play the 90, not to push it, but if he can get a good 60, 70 minutes, he should be playing that game. So, so that's why we kind of detach ourselves from previous years. We are now in the title race. These are the teams that we should be beating with ease. So we have to play our best.
I also think for the confidence sake is that, as in, again, like we said previously, like, okay, yes, we showed the mentality against Monaco here, but like we're off the back of not, again, bar the Ryan game, we were actually on a pretty decent spell, but it's not like, even just for confidence sake, I think we need a victory where, like the Marseille game, where you go and you smack a team 6-0, something like that, to really boost the morale. And if you go and you play your B team and whatnot, you probably will get the win, but it'll probably be like 3-1 win and whatnot. You'll get the job done. But you also think, for the sake of confidence, you need to go and get your Barclays, your Dewey scoring, getting chances and whatnot, to help. I mean, me and Owen have talked about it briefly in the past already, but assuming, of course, we get through to the round of 16, who do we want?
I want Barca, man. I want Barca.
Chelsea,
Give me Barca.
Chelsea.
Oh my God.
I can care less about
No,
Barcelona.
knocking out Barca would be a better feeling.
Okay, give the explanation. Owen, why would
I dislike Barca way more than I dislike Chelsea. Knocking out this team, them going 11 years without winning a UCL, silencing all the Barca fans, shushing all these clowns. Bro, when's the last time you had an argument with a Chelsea fan versus when's the last time you had an argument with a Barca fan? Who do we hate more, Barcelona or Chelsea? I speak for all three of us. We hate Barcelona more. I don't care about this revenge because of something that happened back in July. Like, that's in the past.
Pause. I'm not gonna let you go and say something that you're making it seem as though that little something was like, it was some like Fugazi League game. If PSG won that game, I would have come here and I would say PSG is the greatest team of all time. I'm saying that. What are you gonna say? I'm saying put your septuple on this guy. They prevented us from winning a septuple, and then they're talking. Even their players. I remember before the Champions League cage draw. You asked, it was, who's their keeper again? That Spaniard, whatever.
Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, Robert Sanchez. Like, who do you want? I want PSG because they said, oh, it was Fugazi. Give me Chelsea then. Give me Chelsea. Give me Chelsea at the bridge. And also, like, because the thing with Barca is, like, listen, ever since that second, like, honestly, like, when we beat them, we've beaten Barca this season. They talked about they didn't Ike Flays, if we played you in the final FC, this, that, and the other FC, we said, okay. We said, you want to run the fade? Let's run the fade. We played them. First and foremost, they were homeless at that time. We didn't know where they were playing at the Montjuic, at the Camp Nou, even at the little, Johan Cruyff Stadium. We said, we don't matter. We rolled up with our youth league team, and we beat them. What more am I going to go and say? Like, we've beaten Barca already. We've knocked out Barca the last 3 times we've played them. What more do I have to go and say? Where's Chelsea? Give me Chelsea. I need that revenge for Chelsea. Because right now, anytime I go and I'm with a Barca fan, we can go, if we're in debate with them, we beat you this year. We beat you this year. We won a Champions League. With Chelsea, they said, we smacked you guys 3-0. Like, what can we say in rebuttal? That's why give me Chelsea. Give me Chelsea Football Club. Bro. And also, you talked... Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, you got it.
I was just saying, like, also, you were talking about, like, you want the easier draw for us and so on and so forth. And I would agree with you. I think that Chelsea, for me, is better than Barca. However, I don't think that first and foremost, I don't think the gap is crazy. And also, like, and on that, it's like, yeah, if you're telling me this, like, would I rather have, Chelsea or, I don't know, like Leverkusen, then okay, yes, then obviously give me the easier draw. But like the gap in quality between the two teams is not so gargantuan that okay, I'm like, oh yeah, give me one team or the other.
No.
And also you could also
Barcelona are much easier draw, bro, in my eyes. The defense
I agree.
The defense from Barcelona, bro. Chelsea's Chelsea, I think we beat by like 1 or 2. Barcelona we beat by 3 or 4.
But do you know what do you have to say then to the fact we've already beaten Barca in this season?
That doesn't matter to me. I want to beat them again. Losing to Barca, losing to Barca again. Like if we not again, but if we lost to Barca, That'd be more painful than losing to Chelsea, I think.
No. I think losing to Chelsea would be worse. I think
No.
losing to Chelsea would
No,
be worse.
losing to
Because with Barca,
Wait,
we
oh
go
my
insane.
God, we would never hear the end of it losing to Barca. Bro, I can't remember the last time I
True.
talked to a Chelsea fan. Like,
I mean,
losing-
true, but hold on, but
losing
on
to
that
Barca would be
point,
worse. Beating Barca
If-
would feel better. And Barca are the easier draw. I'm looking at a get to the next round. What would feel better? What's easier? Barcelona, check all those boxes. Give me Barcelona.
But even then, you said, okay, if we lost, I'm not saying, of course, losing to Barca, and you get all the Ike out there coming out and so on and so forth. But also, you go and you look at things. If we lost to Chelsea, Chelsea could come and say, we are PSG's kryptonite. PSG's beaten everybody else. We've beaten Madrid, we've beaten Bayern, we've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten Inter, we've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten every city except Chelsea. If you go and you look at, for example, UEFA's, like coefficients of best teams and whatnot, of all I can believe the teams in the top 10, Chelsea is the only team PSG has not beaten in the last 2 years. We've beaten everybody else. City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern, Arsenal, Inter, Barca, Atleti, everyone else except Chelsea.
I mean, I'd rather face Barca. Beating Barca for me, like losing to Barca would be worse. Beating Barca feels so much better for me. Like, honestly, I don't think it's relatively close either in my eyes. Like, bro, I don't know. Chelsea.
I could see your point in saying that potentially beating Barca could be better because obviously there's more Barca fans and there's like a lot more to shut up. But also for me, it's just like ego.
It's more
ego.
clout.
It's
more clout. It's more clout. Gotta look at it that way.
I think for me the problem, and maybe Dylan, you can agree, is the way we lost to Chelsea.
Bro, a loss is a loss, and that's all that matters.
It's not just any loss. It's
a loss. It's a loss, bro. How I look at it. No, I
was at the game, bro. You don't understand the feeling.
Listen. How I look at it is we lost the Club World Cup. If we lose to Barca, and then if we lose to Barca, bro. If we lose to Chelsea, it's like, you know what? I respect them. They gotta go. If we lose to Barca, if we lose to a team with a trash ass defense, if we lose to a team with the high line, like, bro, like the game for Barcelona, I feel like the stakes are higher for Barcelona. Chelsea is like, we beat Chelsea, whatever, we move. If we beat Barcelona,
with Chelsea you'd be getting your get back. Like with Barca, we knocked them out.
Who am I giving bragging rights to? Like Barcelona, every Barcelona fan on TikTok.
Better way to put it.
Every Barcelona fan on TikTok, I'm talking crazy. All your bums. Luis Enrique clears Hansi Flick. All our players clear. Like I'd be saying Dembele clears them all. Like the arguments I could have. Versus, what argument am I making with Chelsea? Nuno Mendes already clears Cucurella. Bro, Batinga clears Caicedo. Like, what argument am I logically making?
There's one thing that would make me like if we did get Barcelona, and let's say Doué scores and
No. I need you to picture one thing: Dro Fernandez scoring a Barcelona. I just need you to think about that real quick. I need you to picture that. Dro Fernandez scoring at the stadium that gets flooded week in, week out, the stadium that hasn't got fully built, that trash ass bum ass stadium. Though we offer Spotify premium to our players because we can't pay them, like that trash ass stadium. Then he hits then he cuffs the ears, Then he hits like a money celebration because all they said was talking about money, like.
I mean, I can get that aspect, but for me, it's just more. I think if you ask the PSG players, they're as like the egoists that they are, you've already beaten Barca. Like it's not. I don't think. It's not to say that like they won't care if they play. We're not saying that. It would mean something, but it's like this is the team that prevented you from legitimately going and saying like, if we beat Chelsea, if there's one game I say we redo again. Like if you go and you tell me right now, we lose to Barca in October, but we beat Chelsea in the club, I'm taking it. Every day.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
But
on
like
that
they
aspect.
prevented us from doing something historic.
No,
Because now
I
we're-
agree
like,
with you.
because now
I'd
right
rather
now-
I would have rather won that Chelsea game than than the game against Barca. But like,
No, even then, also like it's also the first ever edition of the club rules. Ah, fine.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. No. I'm agreeing with you. Hold on. I need to say that I agree with you. I would have rather won that Club World Cup final than beat Barca in October. But now coming to the Champions League round of 16, I'd rather beat Barca than Chelsea. And like that's not even a conversation in my eyes. That is like 100% guaranteed. I'm praying that we draw Barca. That we humble, destroy, embarrass. We can get Alex. We can get Alex, Cello, Ronnie, Kit all on here. Debate, bro. What Chelsea fan do you know that we could get on here?
No, I mean you'll find. As in, of course, yes. If you want to go and say, for
bro,
the
what
clout,
are you gonna get Young Kip on here or something?
As in, of course, yes. You could say for the clout and whatnot. Like there's a bigger rivalry between.
Just
Barca
in general.
and PSG, I agree.
Just in general. And like you said, the biggest international rivalry is Barca PSG. That's your words, Junior.
I agree. Yes, but like,
I just think
it's like for me, if you, I might even agree with you that beating, like honestly, if we beat Chelsea, it almost beats. I'm just like sick and tired of you. It's like when we, like for example, this last game against Monaco, when 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 scored, I wasn't happy. It was like finally, it's about time. If we beat Chelsea, it would be that. With Barca, yes, I'd be a bit more gleeful, but it's like you need to get that back. I can't let them have the last say. It's like that.
Exactly. Like, there's only so many videos I can make on us beating Barcelona, bro. Like,
Exactly.
the amount of time, bro, I'm talking so much trash to Barcelona fans, and they are sick. They can't say nothing to me. I make videos about Paris losing. They can't, in the comments, they can't even say anything, bro, because who are you, bro? I need Chelsea. I don't think you understand. I need Chelsea, bro. I need Chelsea, period, bro. That's it. I need Chelsea.
I disagree.
you
gotta look at it. You gotta look at not only from like how much you want to win, but like look at it from like a media standpoint, right? You got like, and looking for a matchup standpoint, you got Yamal versus Nuno Mendes, you got 𝙎𝙬𝘼 versus Barca, you got like Vitinha versus Pedri, like you got some. We're talking about like world class matchups, bro. Like,
of course.
And you got Dro returning to the spot, and Junior asked if Dro gets put on, if Dro gets subbed on in Barca, does he get booed? Yes, he does in my eyes. Like,
guys, give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna just mute really fast.
All right, but like,
I mean,
I just think there's more at stake for the Barca game, and like if we beat Chelsea, it's like, for me, if we beat Chelsea, it's like, oh, we're through the quarterfinals and that's it. There's no like, we got our get back.
We're getting our get back though. Like,
that's not how I view it. I view it as like
so you think for like the players and whatnot, this is the team that went and smacked you. The only team last year that was able to go and get you. You beat Barca. Barca haven't beaten you. Like even the last time they played, they beat you at home, okay, but you ended up going and knocking them out. Like, if anything, I'll put it this way: PSG, Barcelona want to beat us more than we want to beat them, but we want to beat Chelsea more than they want to beat us. Right? Because for now, Chelsea can still go and say that, oh, PSG is the one team. Like, you may have beaten everybody else, but you couldn't beat us.
Yeah, that's fair. But
do you not want to be able to go and say, okay, now we've truly gone through the entire rounds in Europe?
If we beat Chelsea, I wouldn't be looking at it from a get-back standpoint. I'd be looking at it from like, we're through the quarterfinals versus we beat Barca. You got humbled. You got embarrassed. 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼𝘾 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 Nuno Mendes is your mom's daddy. Like, I'd be spamming vids. Be spamming them. Like, left and right, bro. You know how when PSG beat Barca, you posted like 30 different match reaction clips of like you on live, bro.
Yeah.
I'd make like 10 videos. I'd be like, Nuno Mendes owns your ball, 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 clears your ball, 𝙎𝙬𝘾 clears Koundé, because there were conversations last season of Koundé being better than 𝙎𝙬𝘾.
But the thing is, a lot of those things like have already calmed down right now. Like there's like people go and say like already believe Nuno, is Yamal's dad. Already people believe that Nuno is clear of Balde. Already people like all those things already exist. The one thing.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd be saying I'd be saying Safonov is better than Joan Garcia or some shit. I'd be saying some outrageous stuff.
As in, I mean, I don't know. For me, like the Barca agenda is like low key because we beat them, and we beat them with our youth league team. So like,
I mean, neither of the team was healthy. You know, they had
sure,
no
neither teams were
Rafinha.
healthy, but the thing is, the big difference is like if you told me at the beginning of the season which team I wanted, yeah, I probably would have gone to give me Barca because these guys were talking too much. But they talked all their talk. We shut them up. Now it's like, okay, fine, let's move on. Let's move on to the next team. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to episode 5 of the Extra Time FC podcast. We hope that you enjoyed it. It was a very enjoyable. I can speak for myself here, speaking with Dylan and Owen, and hopefully we'll be able to do this in the future. And if you guys want, more PSG news and just football news in general, this is going to be the place to be. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and remember, stay blessed.